Welcome back, everybody, to the WoodsTalk podcast with me, seasoned Italian Rory Woods, and my special guest, Violin Mick of House Conlon. Namaste. How's it going, ba?
Namaste, sweet chicks.
Namaste, mate. Namaste. People seem to have really taken to me saying namaste at the start now. I feel like if I don't do it, it's like the you stay classy San Diego sort of thing, you know what I mean?
It sounds what Smith say to bouncers and Thompsons when they get kicked out. Namaste.
Namaste here, and you may fucking I'll stab you again. So yeah, I should explain that obviously you've been listening to my podcast for a while, but a lot of people wouldn't know that we did know each other prior to even me doing comedy. A lot of people probably don't know that or care, but
it was weird. I didn't know you did comedy at all until I saw you on stage. And I went, the fuck's Rory doing on stage?
Yeah, that's the difference in the centre personality and the on stage one. There's night and day, miserable.
And you probably didn't even know I did music until I think it was Paddy's Day about 4 years ago, and you were walking past White's with, it may have been, what do you call the big fella, Jamie from Centra. It might have been with him, or you were out with him or somebody, and we were playing outside White's on Paddy's Day. It was fucking freezing. And you came out of White's and you've been drinking and you were like, all right, Mick. And I went, right, man. And you didn't stay. I was like, that was the biggest fucking insult you could have had.
just to keep you on your toes.
We were. You just kept walking.
How you soon into gigging do you reckon that was for you? Were you going that long?
Mate, that was early days. That was, we were literally, we were very, that was like prepubescent, like it really was.
Yeah. Did you have a
We hadn't done maybe 6 months.
Fuck.
So we were still like using the same 5-minute bit.
Yeah.
We were like a stand-up in London.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just a 5-minute bit for 4 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was pretty early on. Like we had to say to the manager, here, mate, we can't play anymore. He's like, well, you have to play because I'm paying you. And I was like, mate, my violin's literally flown away twice in the wind. Because it was a couple of times I was playing and it came out from under my chin and I had to catch it. Because the wind was so, because it's outside, so between White's and the Monaco, it's just this weird sort of whirlwind.
Yeah.
And it was dangerous, man. I was like, I'm not fucking playing anymore. You can pay us half the fee, I don't give a fuck. I'm done.
Oh, I'd be the same, mate. I'd be out of there. Like, to be honest, I wouldn't even care about the money. I'd be like, here, you know what? The fact that, people are chucking heroin needles at me is a problem. So I'm going to...
Is right.
I'm going to do 10 minutes instead of the 15.
And I think there was so many things wrong with that day. It was St. Patrick's Day, and if anybody knows anything about the string ninjas, we don't play trad. So you're literally fucking fighting against. You're like a dog pissing into the wind constantly. And then also, I was driving, so I couldn't even drink.
Fuck, brutal.
It was fucking atrocious, man. It was just such a shite day. And then we went to the Cuckoo and played fucking Daft Punk for 2 hours. We kept the students happy. So there you go.
See, that's
every cloud.
I suppose that's the nature, because for anybody that doesn't know the string ninjas, you play the violin, Gav plays the guitar, and even outside of Paddy's Day, I think people are going to assume that you play trad in some respect, or at least some sort of rendition of it. And I haven't seen you a few times. I don't even know what the closest song you would have in your repertoire would be to trad, because to be honest, like Zombie Nation, I don't consider Irish trad at all, personally, even though it's played more in nightclubs in Ireland than fucking trad is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny, especially it's sound men who tend to be people in a bar, like generally speaking, the bars we play regularly, we've a sort of a wee rock of regulars, but it's when we go to festivals and the sound man sees us and goes, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
They're going to play the Star County Down and things like that there. And then all of a sudden it's fucking Smells Like Teen Spirit and Seven Nation Army. And I think it's whenever we actually did, because obviously we haven't gigged properly in nearly a year and a half now. We did a Paddy's Day thing there down at Seal Town. They're busy regenerating. What's the word? Is it the right word? Regenerating Sailor Town. And it was St. Joseph's Church. And Johnny here, who was like hosting the event and stuff. It was loads of class musicians.
Yeah.
And we showed up, and again, the soundman did not know who we were. And then I opened up my pedal board, and Gavin opened up his pedal board, and the soundman went, fuck. Right, okay, so that's what you do? We're like, yeah, that's what we do. So it's all the fucking lasers and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's funny. It's funny watching people go,
yeah.
Oh. Because then I attract like loads of nerdy guys. People go, oh, you're a musician, you must get all sorts of clunge. I'm like, nah, mate, I literally get fucking sweaty, beardy cunts going, well, I've never heard of violins through a wah pedal before. And to be fair, up until 4 years ago, nor had I.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't
then
think anybody had, to be fair. Like, because I wonder, like, it'd be class if you could just mug the Sidemen off when they see all the extensive kit that you bring beyond your instruments, and then just be like, so we're going to open We Ride On by Christy Moore, and we're going straight in the hills of Donegal. Do you know what I mean? Just fucking mug them off and be like, what if you brought an entire fucking Samsung fucking shopping centre? That's for Joe Dolan later on.
Well, so I can shop on Amazon while I gig. Yeah, it's funny. I do miss that was like that Paddy's Day live stream again. Paddy's Day. It was like, why are they booking us? The fucking apparently Johnny Hero hasn't fucked up about us on U105 ever since. He's always like raving about these two lads.
Yeah,
I think he just enjoyed the crack because. I mean, you know what we're like. We're very don't take ourselves seriously. We would talk to each other while we're playing, which people don't do. But because we're instrumental, we can kind of get away with that.
Yeah, that's true.
So it was funny watching faces melt and go.
Yeah,
Hair, that's class.
Yeah.
So now I just have to fucking remember how to do it on a regular basis. Like we tried practicing the other week, and after an hour, I was like, I need to sit down. I am broken.
Yeah.
I used to do 3 gigs on a Saturday, and I don't know how we used to do it.
Yeah, I suppose it's like you just have to hope the muscle memory kicks in soon because, as I say, it's been a long time since you've been able to do anything, and it's probably a good time to have you on the podcast now because the NI executive had announced a date for live music to return, and now it's not happening. And my favourite thing about you is obviously you're very vocal about the executive's view on live music as it stands, and you're not very happy, rightfully so, that they sort of really sort of shrug it off quite easily, going, nah, fuck that, and it's not really important. And you sort of say that, you know, this is your livelihood, and this is, you know, your bread and butter, and this is what you need to be doing. But your Insta story is 19 different places to get brunch every day in Belfast, and you're like, these eggs are cracker, I like these wings, that pork belly was lovely, and you're like, Mick, you can't have it both ways, mate. It's going, I'm struggling here. I could only get the fucking pork belly starter. I couldn't even get the fucking venison and semen velouté.
Right, okay. A couple of points on that. I find that my Instagram story keeps people entertained.
Yeah.
People are legit like, could you post more food pics? I'm like, well, I can't because I physically can't eat anymore. But it's all about perception. Whereas you think I'm brunching all the time, doesn't mean I am. Fuck all here. Should we get the ranting out of the way? Van Morrison. You cunt.
Yeah.
Right, that's all I have to say on the
He was
matter.
so lovely before as well. That's the thing. He was such a lovely man prior to all that.
Was he? I know people were like slabbering going, oh, you should, like before he did that, musicians should be grateful for Van Morrison. He was giving loads of his money away. Oh, he wasn't. I didn't get a penny.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not.
No, all I got was more disdain for his fucking songs.
Yeah.
But no, it's been very disappointing. I mean, I knew that it was happening before it happened, whenever they announced that there was another self-employment grant coming out in July.
Did you go see a psychic?
Well, there you go.
Did you go to a psychic or something? Or what? Like you seem to know?
No, it's called being fucking realistic.
Yeah, that's true.
No, it's whenever they announced the other self-employment grant coming out in July, I was like, well, there you go. Why are they giving me money if I can go back to work?
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh yeah, the DUP's having trouble and there's so much. Like I literally just before I come on here, like a mate of mine was on Twitter. He's another musician, and he's literally put up all these items of equipment for sale.
Yeah, because there's no.
And he's like, I have the stress of having a wife and 3 kids and a fucking mortgage.
Yeah. So
I have to go get a normal job here. Like I saw Andy from the Bonnevilles recently, and he's like, he was filling out his fucking application for to be a taxi driver.
Fucking hell.
One of the best fucking blues musicians in Ireland.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
He'll have to be a fucking taxi driver because he needs to feed people.
Yeah. Fuck's sake.
And I mean, I've been lucky enough to be fucking getting contracts from like underwear companies and shit on Instagram because I put in my bio plus size Instagram model, and legit I do get inquiries going, would you like to be a brand ambassador? Yeah. And I'm like, if you want your fucking company within the tubes.
It's well, again, it's just a lack of concrete like reasoning behind it, you know, because then once you start speculating, it just gets more and more ridiculous, as has nearly every element of the executives' behaviour during coronavirus, because of the sort of the real amount of grey area, you couldn't help but just go mad because you were locked down anyway. So you're like, I wonder why we have to have a substantial meal. Why is it only an hour and a half?
Yeah.
But they're advertising for football, even though by the time half time comes, that's over an hour and a half. And then you look from the music thing, and then the amount of people that go, sure, why can someone not just sit in the corner and just play a few tunes? How does that aid the spread of coronavirus? Is there coronavirus in the piccolo? What the fuck is going on? And they're like a fucking tranquilizer dart, like out there. And it's like your mind starts to boggle, but really there's no there's no real reasoning behind the anti-musician stance that they have.
Yeah, I mean, I get. Well, so with all of it, if there had ever been like a thing, if they'd ever said, right, this is the reason why there's no music, even if it was bullshit, we all probably would have gone, fair enough. They've said something.
Yeah.
But they've never done that. Even the statement they released there last week about the date changing to the 5th of July was the same. They literally copied and pasted it from the last one. They just changed the date.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to be trying to be scientific about it, which, I mean, I started a whole fucking thing on Facebook there the other week when I went, you should never trust Christians with science because this is what fucking happens. And the amount of people the amount of Christians who apparently who were ironically very unforgiving and they didn't understand what I was saying.
Yeah.
But they all jumped on it, and I explained myself, and then a few musician friends, was actually on a musician friend's post, and I messaged him and I went, I'm sorry if I pissed off your friends. He went, no, Mick, you're 100% right to say what you say. But if you want to talk about, like, okay, singing, I can understand singing, and then you bring up the piccolo or like a brass instrument, something that I think is projecting that. But I'm an instrumentalist. I play the fucking violin. I mean, unless I've got shit coming off my fingers, which, you know, I don't.
That's
but
a separate podcast.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
exactly. That's only fans, mate. But
yeah,
like, for example, so the other week I was at the Limelight, and it was for Dave and Shane's workshop show.
Yeah,
and I was fucking delighted to see the boys back on stage. It was brilliant. Really good night. Really enjoyed myself. And I was like, I mean, you know me. I'm fucking. Nobody could take my mantle as the #1 comedy fan in Northern Ireland. Like I always have been. But I was still sitting there going, why can't?
Yeah.
What's the difference? And like the lads would have. I'm sure none of the lads would disagree with me there. Like, I'm not slabbering about comedians, like, because fucking it's my favorite art form, as everybody knows. Anybody who knows me knows, and I love it. But I'm going, but why can't I? Why can't my mates? Why can't my industry? What the fuck are we doing wrong? And then you realise, well, I mean, it's like the first thing Hitler did was get rid of the arts before he did anything else. Get rid of all that, and I'm saying, I mean, I didn't know until I think it was you that told me that comedy isn't even considered an art form.
No,
so none of you lads could get arts council grants, which is a fucking joke to me. I don't understand.
I know.
I mean, that's the least funny joke of all. But
exactly, it's fucking mad, mate. Particularly the Christians and the science thing. You definitely hit the nail on the head there. Apart from Dr. Christian and science shouldn't be mixed at all. Do you know what I mean? He's all right, but anything else, I don't know, mate. It's very much like when you're in an airport and your flight's delayed and nobody tells you why. It just comes up on the screen, delayed by 3 hours, and no one ever tells you, oh, there's been engine trouble, or it's running late, or blah, 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 there's been an issue with baggage or something. It's the kind of just sitting in the airport going, what am I supposed to do? But obviously in this case, it's more long form. You're like, what am I really supposed to do in these circumstances? Like, if you go in for another job, you know, okay, you get some money rolling in, but, you know, I assume that anybody who's a musician has to get a job now is getting it not by their own volition, where they're like, here, I need to start hooking, or I need to start working in a pretzel place in Castle Court, you know what I mean? It's not as if they're doing it because they're happy about it, but if they knew that it was only going to be for 3 months, they could thran it out. But if you're still sitting there at Christmas, and all you're hearing is Mariah Carey on the radio, and you're sitting in Burton, helping some fat cunt put on fucking chinos, you'd be like, this is shite.
Well, Burton's closed down now, so that's not happening. But no, definitely, bro. It's if there was reasoning, and a fucking Wembley for the UEFA fucking whatever they're calling it, the homophobic fucking championships.
Yeah.
Or 60,000 people being allowed. I'm going, what the what? Like explain, like actually explain, because you keep talking about the science. You kept saying, I mean, I'm sorry, for 18 months I've bent over backward and took everything up the hole that they've thrown.
Yeah.
But it has served me. It has not fucking helped me out anyway. Because like I'm a pretty mentally strong person, but I've definitely noticed myself in the last 6 months. I'm really not ashamed of it. I'm really fucking struggling because it's whenever you're not allowed to do your whenever, like if you fuck up at work and you get sacked, there's rhyme and reason there. But whenever your way of making a living, it's not like I was in a fucking accident and lost the use of my hands.
Yeah.
Some fucking bigot on the hill has decided that because they don't give a shit about live music, then that myself and my friends can't make a living.
Yeah.
And it's that bit. You're like, well, when you can't make a living and it wasn't your fault.
Yeah.
I mean, is it any wonder so many people have tinfoil hats now?
Yeah.
You're going, well, hold on a second. There must be something going on. And as I said, like whenever the self-employment grant is extended, whilst I am very thankful for things like that to be there, I want to make my own money. And I also know that I would make more money if I was working.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about playing trad? That might help.
I've tried. Mate, you know what, man? I swear to God, I have tried. I had a girlfriend who was a trad music teacher. Like she was a music teacher who specialised in traditional music.
Yeah.
And she tried. I mean, like the fucking bulk of our arguments were about her trying to teach. I just could. It's a genre. I just couldn't get my head around. Whereas Gavin, was a trad player, a banjo player.
Yeah.
And very proficient. But it's just something that doesn't suit my soul.
Yeah.
I mean, I can pretty much play any other kind of genre, but I can't hold a gun to my head, man. I couldn't play a reel if you asked.
Do you think, like, would you listen to trad in your spare time or anything? Is that a factor? The fact that you don't really, in your leisure, listen to it?
I think that, I mean, if I had learned it from a younger age, I wouldn't be having this conversation. But I mean, when I've tried to learn it, and in a lot of places, like you go, like I used to enjoy going to McHugh's on a Saturday afternoon or something for a few beers, and then have a wee session on, or the John Hewitt or the Sunflower, not so much. Sunflower, I think are a lot better, but McHugh's definitely, and it would be 17 people around a table playing the same tune.
Yeah.
And that's just like listening to a fucking Orange Lodge march past my house.
Yeah.
Because people are going, oh, how come there's no live music, but they can fucking march? And like, let's get something straight. That's not music.
Yeah, definitely not. It's grim.
They all play the same tune. There's no counter harmony. There's no syncopation or groove in their rhythm.
Yeah.
You know, so in my eyes, they've missed all the fundamentals of music.
Yeah.
And but it was the same, like you see so many trad sessions that were all done the same way. So I think you sort of end up, there's like a subconscious wall you put up, and I go, I can't be fucked that there. But then I said, I've tried to learn it. I've been tried to be taught by proper trad musicians, musicians, and I'm just like, it's not going in. I think I'm too old to learn that trick.
Yeah. Well, I always feel like, you know, even when I was growing up, like I was extremely lucky in that trad music wasn't really a part of my life, because my mom and dad just didn't listen to it. You know, as you said, when you're young, if you're surrounded by it, you kind of have a nostalgia. Even if you're not keen on it, there's still like those memories. But like my mum was very much like the Beatles and stuff like that, and then my dad's like Thin Lizzy and the Stones, and then like between the both of them, Clapton and stuff always came to the forefront, and then like the Who and Squeeze and stuff like that there, and like Kinks and stuff. So I was always very lucky that, you know, and even like things like Ray Charles and stuff too, and fucking you know what I mean. Like my dad played drums, so like Buddy Rich was in there, and fucking Cream, and so I feel quite lucky now that that wasn't a thing for me growing up, because you know I still like all those things, but I branched out from that. But I don't know where you can branch out from trad when you grow up and maybe like Flogging Molly, Dropkick Murphys, Tops.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There's a thing with trad within, like, there's families I know who are like really famous trad music families, but it's kind of all they do, and it's what they're known for. And I'm sure they do individually enjoy different types of music, but it seems to be when they all get together, it's like fuck the Brits and all that shit that comes, and it's like I don't know. For me, it's not. I mean, like when I was growing up, see my music education from my parents. Like my mum was a Patsy Cline fan, and my dad just submitted. He was like, "Here's the remote. Watch whatever the fuck you want." Yeah. My dad didn't watch any football between 1994 and fucking 2012. he was like, "Oh, I'm fed up trying to watch what I want."
Yeah.
So it was my own discovery. I started off learning classical, and it was only whenever I saw Wayne's Word change my life.
Mm.
When I heard Bohemian Rhapsody for the very first time, I think I was 11, 12, whatever year that came out. And I was like, fuck, because I heard the opera. And I went, what's that?
Yeah.
And my dad was like, oh, that's Queen. I was like, oh, fuck. So I went down to Belfast Library, found this CD, Greatest Hits, once I took it home.
Yeah.
Listened to it, burnt it, never did as you do.
I did that as well. Yeah.
And then brought it back and got another one. And then from Queen, it just sort of went out from there. And then I discovered the Rat Pack. So that's like polar opposites. Then you discover the Great American Songbook, and then people like Ray Charles and where rock and roll started. And then all of a sudden your mind just goes, well, because you're like a teenager, and everyone, all teenagers want to be different. So you do sort of flourish in that sort of musical discovery where like it's cool if you don't listen to what everybody else is listening to. So I certainly, my sort of 16 to 20 years were fucking just mental for me, because I literally had heard none of this. It's like me, like I always say to Gavin, I go, here, we should do this song by Megadeth or this song. And he's going, mate, I was listening to that 20 years ago. You're only discovering it now. And I'm like, yeah, but you know, Mozart got in the way. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I think that's the thing about music, and I think you got on this on interest now about people who like trad. It seems to be the be all and end all of their musical spectrum. Whereas even if you bring up someone like Queen, if you listen to the Sheer Heart Attack album by Queen, you would never have had Metallica, because Hetfield said Stone Cold Crazy, it was the inspiration behind his whole band. So, do you know what I mean? Like, and the thing is about music is that you could listen to someone and not realize what their influences are, but then you go in, you research who inspired this musician to do what he does, then you find other people, and it's not always the same genre, where you could be like, well, turns out Dave Mustaine from Megadeth loves Kenny G. It could happen. Do you know what I mean? So that's the interesting thing about music. And then, I suppose if you're talented, it doesn't really matter. Perfect example was what I heard yesterday. I don't know if you're aware of this, that Metallica are doing a re-release of the Black Album on vinyl. Did you hear this news?
Did not know.
So they're doing like a re-release. Cool. Then there's a bonus vinyl called the Blacklist, and it's just like loads of famous people covering tracks from the Black Album. So there'll be a few people doing the same song. They've released...
We haven't been asked.
Oh, right enough, dirty bastards. Hey?
No, we haven't been asked.
But I mean, who's on it? Idols are on there, Corey Taylor's on there, and there's a few others.
Okay.
Royal Blood are featuring, but they've released the promo track, Nothing Else Matters, and it's Elton John's playing the piano, Chad Smith's involved, and Miley Cyrus sings it, and it's fucking unbelievable. Check it out after this podcast. It's so it's weird that Miley Cyrus...
Elton John, I'm going, fucking hell, if he breaks into fucking Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word in the middle of this thing, it'll kill somebody. And then Blue just make a random appearance for the backing vocals. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like that's like people would never assume that Miley Cyrus would ever be in that wheelhouse. But then...
Well, I think she did that Cranberries cover.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was...
And she fucking smashed it.
That was
the thing is, she didn't try and do it like the original. She did do it her own sort of way. So, no, I would be interested to see that. Like, I mean, Nothing Else Matters on piano instead of guitar.
There is guitar in there. Like,
but I'm guessing Elton John's providing the guts of the
meat.
The acoustic guitar aspect of it.
Yeah.
Well, it would be a very different vibe, I'm sure. But no, I'd definitely check it out. No?
Yeah, it's fucking cool, because I can assume then, given what you do with the String Ninjas, that you're a fan of covers, because I know some people who are very much against covers, famous bands doing other things, and I'm like, I can appreciate there's some horrible fucking examples of it, but I think when done well...
Puddle of Mud
about a girl. Jesus Christ. Sorry to every Nirvana fan out there, but what is happening to him in that video? Like, have you seen the video as well as, like, have you seen the actual vid of it?
Oh, the actual performance? Didn't he do it on, like, some radio show,
Yeah, because he did
Sirius XM or something like that.
something like that. They did a session, and it was about a girl, and they did Blurry as well, their big hit, which I'm a big fan of that track. I don't know what order they did them in, but whatever's happening to him in the video, like his face has to contort a certain way to try and sound like Kurt Cobain, and Kurt Cobain was the most minimal performer of all time. He's unreal.
Yep.
But like, what's his name? Wes Scanlon, I think Paul Lamont singing it, and he's like, it's like it's proper like Vincent D'Onofrio, Men in Black. And you're like, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, he's a pisshead anyway, and he's like, oh, I'm getting sober now, and I'm like, why don't you learn how to just not spasm every time you try and do a Nirvana
Just
cover?
learn how to breathe through your fucking mouth, you gobshite. That's all. Yeah, that was awful to watch. But no, man, covers are. I don't see anything wrong with covers. Some of the biggest bands in the world. Like, do you know the band Imagine Dragons?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, do you actually know who they are?
I know a few tracks with it, Radioactive and
that's Evans. Yeah. Well, I'll not go into it too much, but I know the drummer because whenever they would come and play in Belfast, they used to come to my old restaurant, and they would come the night before the performance, and then the day off it, and so they came about 3 or 4 times, and I just stayed in touch with them. Nice fella. He'd always be there for like sort of helpful advice. Like we were having an issue with like copyrighting one of our songs, so he sent me an email address of his music lawyer. It was like, here, send him an email, tell him I sent you, and you know, that kind of way.
Yeah,
really nice guys. But they started off as a cover band, and it was like in Las Vegas. They were just doing like clubs, and then there was this big festival on, and one of the headline acts who knew them got swine flu. So that's how I'm dating this story.
Yeah.
And so they were like, we can't play because we all got swine flu. So they got them to play. So they went and played like U2, With or Without You, and then fucking Song 2 by Blur. And then that was the catalyst for them becoming this massive band. And then so like their stadium like touring, like that's how big they are, not well, pre-COVID and stuff.
Yeah. And
even in their set, I've seen them play live, and they still do at least one cover.
Yeah,
it's like a nod.
Yeah, I suppose that's fair.
The people who the sort of their inspired, like this. These are the people who we listen to, or you know. And I used to make a living off covers. Like we still did our own original stuff, but covers is that's your bread and butter at the start. And then you know, as long as you're not doing it verbatim, if you're doing stuff the way it always sounds, do it your own way. Like we do. As you've seen us play, but like someone said to me earlier, like the way you play fucking Johnny Cash, what's it called?
Ring of Fire.
Here, the Train of Common. What's that one called? Folsom Prison Blues.
Yeah.
There you go. That's how long it's been. I can't remember the fucking songs we play. But he was like, I love the way you play that because we play it with tempo and with groove and with, you know, energy. Whereas like every time you hear that song, people are going, I hear the train. Everyone plays it the same fucking way.
Yeah.
But if you take a cover and you flip it, you do something cool with it.
Yeah.
It's not wrong at all. But yeah, don't do the Puddle of Mud fucking Nirvana cover.
Yeah.
Nobody should ever do that.
Well, they did.
You should have your fucking vocal cord license revoked.
They actually did like a covers album as well, but I don't know if Nirvana was on it, but they did like try and get a feed, but like TNT by AC/DC was in there.
Right.
And then there was probably a load of other shite as well. Like it didn't do very well. But I think like you're right that as long as you're not, well, you can do it verbatim if you don't sound like the band. Do you know what I mean? Like Miley Cyrus doing Zombie by the Cranberries. It's pretty much the same vibe, but her voice makes it sound so different.
Exactly, yeah.
But I think like if you're just doing it verbatim, let me see. I have to get you the track.
I mean, it's funny as well. Like there's people who have like their own originals. There's like a. Do you know like Paolo Nutini? Mm-hmm. He's inspired a generation of men who all sound like him. They may not be covering his songs, but they all have originals. Amy Winehouse inspired, and then Amy Winehouse inspired a generation of women, who all sound like her, even though they're not singing her songs.
That's true.
So
that's
like,
very true. Yeah.
So what's worse? I don't know if people have a problem with covers. Yeah. I actually think that's worse. Yeah. When you're like, do you actually sound? I saw an Instagram story the other night of somebody who I know, and there was somebody singing in it, and I was like, is that actually what you sound like, or are you putting that on?
I see what you mean.
It's a weird. I don't know. Singing's a weird thing.
Yeah,
But
for
when
sure.
people have that sort of, I mean, Amy Winehouse, I believe that that's her voice. Well, not anymore, but
Yeah.
you know, at
Yeah.
the time,
At the time when she was alive, certainly.
yeah. God rest her.
Yeah. They do Puddle of Mud have they do Gimme Shelter, TNTs in there, The Joker, Rocket Man, and a few others, and then with a little help from my friends, which I take particular issue with in that that's been covered before and has actually got a superior cover to the Beatles, in my opinion. Now I can't remember is it Jarvis Cocker or Joe Cocker?
It's Joe. Actually, I was going to say it's at my cover off is pretty good,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, Joe Cockers is outstanding.
Yeah, Joe Cocker's is fucking great. You know what I mean? So I like that.
Here,
But
I'll
again,
be controversial here, would you? I'm going to be controversial. I'm not a fan of reality TV shows, even though I did do the X Factor. But there was a guy who auditioned for the X Factor years ago called Daniel Johnson, and he covered Joe Cocker's version of "Will It Help My Friends."
he did well.
And I swear to God, do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. I 100% do. Yeah.
Mate, honestly, still to this day, one of the greatest ever, like first time TV performances of any song I've ever. It was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, it was great. And
I've even sent him DMs on Instagram to say that.
Yeah, did he get
He
back to
probably
you?
thinks I'm hitting on him, but
Yeah.
I'd like to give positive feedback. I'd like, Daniel, you were great. You should have won, but typical fucking ITV. They wanted like controversy. I can't speak like that. But that's what they wanted, like to make like a soap opera.
Yeah.
Because you had Lee Joe McKelvey and Ollie Murs.
Yeah.
But Daniel Johnson was clearly the best.
Yeah. Well, see, I remember watching that season because for a couple of reasons that season is pretty significant.
That's why I stopped. It broke my heart.
Yeah. And it's like the reason that like it sort of didn't go well for your man Daniel Johnson. And the last thing I seen of him was on an ad for like, you know, those ads where it's like people sign up for like a lottery and people go to your house and go
lottery.
Yeah,
yes!
He's on that. He's an ad. Jade Goody's ex fella and fucking Chico or some shit. But that's what he's doing now. But because he smashed the dick off his first edition, all the papers were going, we've got our winner already. And obviously the X Factor producers didn't want that because they're like, well, we can't have people predicting the winner because nobody's going to phone in for anybody else. They're just going, well, we're not even going to watch because this guy's got it. And he was clearly better. And then there's all these like stories as a conspiracy theory about like, you know, that he was being arrogant and that he was cocky and that he felt he'd already won it after the first edition and stuff, which is probably not the case. I mean, he was probably assured that he knew he was going to get beyond the audition for sure because he battered it.
Somebody had been in his ear and said, "You're."
Yeah. So I actually feel sorry for that guy. Do you know what I mean? I almost feel like we should go out of our way to get him on our respective podcasts over the next while and just chat to him, see if he's all right.
I think that's a fantastic idea, man. I think we should definitely do a 3-way with Daniel Johnson.
Yeah, and then do a podcast to be great.
No, it's funny you should mention that because because obviously you were on ours recently. I mean, I think when this goes out, maybe people won't have seen you on ours because we give them all the patrons first. And then Joe Public can wait. They'll get them when they get them. But we had two guests on who were both on either the X Factor or The Voice. And it was very interesting talking to them about the process because they got to certain stages where like maybe a contract's had to be signed and what have you. And it was interesting hearing neither of them won. Yeah. But it was interesting hearing them talk about sort of there was some stuff they talked about on the podcast and then there's stuff they talked about off it because I can't actually legally say this. Yeah. But very interesting to hear the process because like I remember like because I laugh about it, I did do the X Factor, but I didn't get past the first round. Yeah. And when I say I didn't get past the first round, I didn't even make that like to Simon Cowell and Louis Walsh and all. Yeah. You walk into your room, you get 20 seconds to sing a song, and they go yes or no. And there's none of this like, oh my god, my daughter's amazing. You should know it's fucking it's like that. But then when you get through to the TV bit, then obviously that's when they go here, right? You go in there, they've told your daughter she's shite, you go in and shout at them. Yeah. See, that's the thing. You needed a sob story, which by this stage of existence, there's been how many seasons of The Voice, X Factor, all that shit. How many fucking ill people are there in the UK? Because I keep thinking at some point people are just going to come up with something niche. But like my uncle's got avian flu, or my auntie's got a very bad verruca at the minute, so I deserve a recording contract. She's got a rag nail and 100%. She's pissed off, and
she fell when she was blocked and she shattered her elbow. I deserve
Yeah.
to to be signed to Universal and do fucking.
I used to do karaoke competitions and stuff just for a laugh. And like I would do all right in them. And there was one competition in particular where a couple of people approached me and were like, "You should go do the X Factor." And I was like, "Oh, I did do the X Factor. How did you not win?" I was like, "Because I come from a loving family, that's why." Exactly. Nobody ever fucking sexually abused me.
Yeah, fuck's sake.
You know what I mean? I'm a fucking level-headed person.
Yeah,
you know, I don't have a dream of being on Jeremy Kyle.
Yeah,
that's why I never won.
I'm surprised Madeleine McCann didn't win it when you think about it. To be fair, is that the darkest thing I've ever said? Probably. What did you?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah.
What did you? What did you sing in your audition?
If Tomorrow Never Comes by Garth Brooks in it.
Yeah, did you?
Because legit, I decided when I walked up to the mark.
Yeah.
That's when I decided, because I was going, because I would be, well, like I said, when I did karaoke competitions or anything, or when there was a bar I used to work in where I was a singing barman.
Yeah.
But it would always be like Rat Packy stuff or Tom Jones or something big bandy.
Yeah.
You can't do that stuff a cappella. It's really hard. So I was like, something melodic. I was going, and Ronan Keating had just had a hit with the cover. I was like, oh, fuck, sure, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And, you know, my mum always liked me singing it. So I was like, I'll do that. And then, excuse me, big burp. That burp was brought to you by Restaurant. But yeah, that's, what was I going to do, mate? It was more a case of I did it because I don't like people who go, well, it's easy. I could do that.
Yeah.
Like, I've applied to be on Tipping Point.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Because I think it's a great show.
I've never seen it, funny enough, but I will.
Oh, mate, of all the game shows, it's the one I think you could, like, The Chase is great crack, but even if you get to the final stage, you're not guaranteed to win anything. Whereas, like, on Tipping Point, you're always guaranteed about $3,000.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have to do me. That's a deposit on a flat kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, fuck's sake. It reminds me
Ben
of...
Shepherd seems like a really nice fella, too.
He seems like a good lad. I think, like, that's a good thing about Tipping Point you were saying there, but no, you'll get something. It reminds me of, do you remember on RT winning streak back in the day?
Yes.
You always got, even if you were out first, you're like, I still got a fucking microwave, a Nissan Micra, and a trip to Tuscany. This is fucking, I didn't even win.
My dad said that to me recently. He said that was the best. He thinks that's the best ever game show because of that very reason. Yeah. He doesn't think it's fair on other people. And I go, well, it is fair. Yeah. It's called competition, Dad.
Yeah, the fucking, you could add shit and still walked away with a new house. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I sometimes enjoy just sitting and watching, like, because I'm unemployed, obviously. I have the luxury to do this, but sticking on like Challenge TV, and it's like The Price is Right, great, Wheel of Fortune, Catchphrase.
Oh, I love it.
You could just have a whole day of just watching all that guff, but it's great.
Oh, it's 100%. It's one of the best channels on TV for sure. Like,
unbelievable. Yeah. But I do enjoy a bit of Catchphrase. Actually, it's never been the same since Roy Walker left it.
No, definitely not. Again, I always feel like, you know, when you've got the best host for any of those game shows, just anybody who took over just never really hit the same mark. Like Les Dennis is still the man for Family Fortunes. Yeah, but will anything ever top his appearance in Extras? Definitely not. No, he's so good. No,
I mean, have you seen the bloopers from that scene? Yeah, in the dressing room.
It's amazing.
I mean, it's just like the bloopers from that show could just be released as I would buy it if it was a DVD. I would buy it because it's just phenomenal.
Yeah, I love Extras. Do you know what I meant to say to you as well? But that season of X Factor we were talking about, that was the year that Joe McElderry won it, and then that was the year that X Factor didn't get Christmas #1 because of Rage Against the Machine. That was that year. It was Joe McElderry was beat, and because I remember buying Killing in the Name of on iTunes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I did too.
And it was like he did.
I didn't buy it because it was a good tune. I bought it because I wanted Daniel Johnson to win.
Yeah, of a DJ, he loves it. And do you know what? Joe McElderry's winning single was "The Climb" by Miley fucking Cyrus. Full circle.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Unbelievable, man.
I know. Daniel Johnson, if you're listening, you're a great lad, and we're here for you. Whatever you need.
I'd see when this goes out. Legit, tag him.
Yeah.
Legit, I think you should tag him in the post.
Yeah.
He's definitely on Instagram because I follow him. He may follow me randomly, just one of them random follow backs that people do.
Yeah.
I got a really random follow back yesterday. Did you see the video of the Aussie guys know I kept getting sent this video of these Aussie guys on this radio show,
Right.
and they were talking about nicknames.
Mm-hmm.
And there was the fella who looks like me, and he's got his beard, the colouring, everything. But when Gavin's seen it, typical Gavin, he went, when you order a Mick off Wish.
Mm-hmm.
He's got like he's like really nice skin and everything. He just does, he's a better looking version of me.
Yeah.
And so I found him on Instagram and I tagged him in that post what Gavin said, when you order a Mick off Wish, and then he followed us back and he was like, oh my God, this is fucking hilarious that we both look identical. He's like, I'm on the radio show, I'm on the show in the morning, I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's a shame the fucking borders are closed in Australia. I'd fly you over and have you on the show. But then I went and looked into the show, and I was like, it's actually a massive radio show. He may have actually been serious.
Yeah.
About flying us over to Australia, just randomly.
Fuck,
so
that could have made that.
Now he follows. Yeah, here, unbelievable. But I'll if you go on my Instagram, I actually posted the video because I got it the first day I got sent it. I was really hungover, and I watched the video, and I legit thought it was me. I thought, did I get drunk last night and just decide to start doing like a story about nicknames in an Aussie accent?
Yeah.
And then I must like every day for about a fortnight, I was just getting like a couple of times a day. People were like, "Make us a shoe, a shoe, a shoe."
Yeah.
So I posted it on my own profile. I tagged him, and now we're buds, mate. We're buds. We're Insta buds.
See, that's the thing, I suppose, because you have a sort of distinct look. There's always going to be somebody online that looks like you. Because I kind of get it a wee bit, but not as much as I'd say you do. Because anybody in like Ice Road Truckers could be like, if you did a version here called Ice Road Buckers, I'd watch that 100%. Do you know what I mean? I'd be keen on that happening.
Well, yeah, no, but to be like, I understand the beard thing, but legit, no, like he is legitimately like to the strand.
Yeah,
it is it's uncanny because like people have beards, but it's the color. People go to me, "Do you get that colored?" I'm like, "No, it's fucking natural." You think? Who the fuck's going to their barbers going, right? I want a tint of silver here, and who the fuck is doing that?
Exactly. I get the same. You can't see it overly well, but see around here, I have a touch of grey coming through in every barber because we go to the same barbers. Clearly,
we do.
They always say, "I was like, when did you put that streak in?" I'm like, "Bro, I 100% didn't." But nobody believes me though. They're just like, "Nah, you be the type of her to get like a streak in."
I have a barber related question for you, and this is an old man thing.
Yeah.
For me, it was probably about 6 or 7 years ago. I went to my barbers. One of my old mates from school actually owns the barbershop. That's why I go support your old mates and all. But I was getting my hair done, and at this time I didn't even have a beard. I was just getting my hair cut. And then a young fella goes to me, "Do you want your ears done?" And I went, "Excuse me?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Do you want your ears done?" And I went, "What do you mean done?" He went, that's just that part of this." And I went, "Am I old?
Yeah.
I have to get my ears done now?"
Yeah.
But not like inside my ears, literally around here.
Oh, really?
I'm worried that one day the hair on the rim of my ears is going to plait itself into the fucking head.
Brill cream.
Just completely pinned back.
Dax.
And I text my mate Gavin, also Gavin, who owned the barbershop, and I was like, "You fucking bastard offered to do my ears a day." And he went, "Mick, you're in your 30s.
Yeah.
Deal with it, mate. This is just the way it is now." Fuck's sake. So now when I go and he doesn't offer to do my ears, I'm going, "Here at Keevan, I fucking chance."
I don't know.
Are you looking?
I'm trying to. You would feel it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I did mine this morning.
Yeah.
Because I knew I was leaving the house.
Yeah.
So I did. Yeah. It's just I get mine's is more like sort of. This is great for the audio podcast.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like,
people love
just
it.
Around like by the lobe and then sort of the center ear. Just I mean, it's not like fucking 7-inch pubes or nothing up there.
Yeah.
By the way, that's 7 inches apparently. But you just get we sort of whiskers.
Yeah. I didn't even.
Yeah.
You've got. I'm actually worried about that now. Paranoid.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake,
Give you a complex.
You know,
I mean, the monobrows, I haven't got one, but like I understand. And then like guys getting their noses done and stuff. I mean, I worry because I've got the beard. Yeah. If I had a hairy nose, you wouldn't notice. Because
that's true. You can get away with it. Yeah.
But the fucking ears thing, man, I'm just like, fucking hell. Whenever dating becomes like okay again.
Daniel Johnson shaves his ears.
Was he? Fuck's sake. Daniel.
DJ.
What a legend.
I know.
No, seriously, what a legend.
I think he
Maybe
could.
that's what I'm going to do later whenever this podcast is over. Or know what we should do when we start recording?
Yeah.
Share your YouTube to the screen and we'll watch the video together. We'll do like an audio commentary.
Fucking hell, that'd be
And the
great.
bit where he tosses the microphone between his hands. That's
like,
how well I know the video.
I remember, because who was the judges at that time? Was Sharon Osbourne?
Cheryl Cole,
Cheryl.
Danny Minogue,
Simon, Louis Walsh.
Simon, and then probably Louis. Yeah,
Yeah, I think Louis Walsh has
but
done every
Danny
single one.
Minogue and Cheryl Cole, because he gives Cheryl Cole a wee wink, and you're like, you can just like, Cheryl Cole's like, I would.
Yeah, I'm frothing to do it for sure. Like, just fucking.
He's not your He's not your type.
Yeah, like he
Sure.
he did smash it. Like I like that guy. I have to say, it's fucking just pure talent. I feel bad that whatever way the media spun him, just was never meant to be. You know what I mean? Because
I mean,
it's a difficult one, man. I'm sad now thinking about his demise. But if he wants to come on with
I gotta be
the
honest with
String
you.
Ninjas podcast, come on.
really, well, we want to be honest with you here. Known you for a very long time. We share lots of common interests.
Yeah.
I did not see this podcast being a fucking us fucking oozing over Daniel Johnson from the X Factor.
Yeah.
I thought it would be, here, Mick, let's talk about Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
Here, aren't Spurs a shit club, or aren't Newcastle shite, or where's it good to get a stout and Guinness? No,
Yeah.
a stout and Guinness, stout in Belfast.
Yeah.
I'm not even drunk. This is just the way I talk now.
Yeah.
I think it's because I don't talk to people anymore. I forgot how to formulate sentences.
Mate, I have to.
I'm very good at tweeting angrily, but I find talking very difficult now.
It's a different animal, particularly now. I managed to get out for pints in Strabane over the weekend, and
Yeah.
bar conversation and bar drinking, that is like an old rested animal. That's an old wound that I haven't scratched in a while, because I just felt like, am I talking too much? Am I too loud? Am I too close to people? And then 3 pints
The answer
and
is
I
yes
felt
to all those
steaming.
things.
Yeah, I must have been a full melter, where, you know what I mean? And you could tell that like everybody was in great form, everybody was buzzing to be with people again, but it just kind of, it felt like an ebb and flow where you would go on a tangent about Big Trouble in Little China or something, and then it was just inevitable that it was going to come back to something Corona related. Then it would go back up and you would talk about fucking Queens of the Stone Age, and then it would go back. Hopefully that sort of regulates out. But that whole situation in terms of speaking to people, pinting with people, it's like a different animal to even what it was pre-COVID. There's something very, very like strange about doing it again. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. I mean, like when I did, like not even, I suppose yet is talking later, but whenever we did that live stream on Paddy's Day, and that the dance music tune that we do, Gavin tunes his guitar. They have like a really weird, it's not like just standard guitar tuning. It's for any guitar nerds watching, it's it's like a dag with something, I don't know. Guitars will know.
Yeah.
But he said to me, he's like, because usually when we be gigging, when he'd be doing footering about his tuning and having to concentrate, then I would take over on the mic and talk away to the audience, whatever. Haven't done it so long, so he goes talk to, because it was being broadcast live to wherever on YouTube, and he was like, "Here, talk to the camera," and I looked at the microphone and literally went, "It's like." Do you ever see when like Gaddis used to do that bit about the turtle getting the straw up its nose?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I was like.
Yeah, you don't know what to do.
I did not know. I was like, how do you use what? And then I was like, yeah. And then I'm in my head, I was going, don't swear.
Oh, that's the worst.
Because it's like 6 o'clock on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
I had forgotten how to use them. So like, I hadn't hardly spoken to anybody in a year.
Yeah.
I hadn't used them. Apart, like our podcast is different because me and him talking to each other. We just forget the cameras are, but actually directing at somebody else. So like I even go for pints. I went to a cafe. I went to a cafe earlier, and I walked in. When I said it, I was like, "You're such a wanker. No wonder you're single." And the girl come up to me and she went, "Hi, how are you today?" I went, "Well, I've driven a very long way to be here because I've heard yous are very good." And I was like, is that not the most fucking old man mental shit you've ever heard?
That's so.
I should have just gone, I'm grand, thanks. Just stay up for one,
Yeah.
which is usually what I would have said. But I went, I've heard yous are very good. I've driven a long way.
No fucking pressure. That's so.
Now, to be fair, I did sit down and it was fucking outstanding.
Yeah.
It was like really, really, really good. And like it was like a £15 bill. And I gave like, going back to our my brunching. But
I'm struggling
I
for
gave
work.
the girl,
Take it.
fucking, I know. This is just the stuff I sell at the back of the van. But I gave the girl a £5 tip.
Yeah.
And she goes, are you sure? And I went, yes.
Yeah.
Because every one of you has been over to the table to see how things are. And I've told you it's all excellent. It legit was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was quick. The place was clean. Everybody was super polite. The food was delicious. The coffee was good.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah. I'm a hospitality veteran. So
Yeah.
a 20-30% tip is not unheard of for good service. Like a 10% is just your standard, but if it's good service, 20-30 easy.
Oh, 100%. I agree.
think, yeah, it's like no one's holding you on the head. Like take the £5, it's fine.
Yeah.
There's no COVID on it, I swear.
Yeah. It's not
But yeah,
I totally agree, man. I think, anybody, even pre-COVID, I was always more than willing to tip if it was deserved, and even if it wasn't, you still would have got something. I mean, like money. I don't mean like there's a set of plasters.
there's a thumb up the bum line.
Here's one of my socks. You know what I mean? It's got a hole, but sure. You know what I mean? but
Here's a ticket stub for one of my old shows. Enjoy.
Here's a YouTube video. Watch it. It's Daniel Johnson's audition for the X Factor. It'll fucking. Why give you money when I can just give you the most uplifting thing?
Oh, man. I swear, I can't believe any references to Daniel Johnson. That you have to put a hashtag Daniel Johnson, and it's Daniel with a Y, not an I.
That's right. Actually, I do remember it.
Watch your views just shoot up. Those are the X Factor fans going, "Oh, what's this Daniel Johnson about?"
Yeah.
And it's just me and you talking about fucking.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what else we're going to be talking about for the rest of this, but yeah probably something very inappropriate.
Yeah, I actually don't know what I was planning to say now, but I think it was something. Yeah, what I was going to say was we were speaking about tipping and hospitality and stuff. And when I did your podcast very recently, I was either before or after, you told me a story about me that I didn't know. Do you remember this?
Yes.
And it turned
this.
Tell it now, because I'm still kind of going, I wonder what would have happened if that had came to fruition.
Yeah, so I actually, before we started recording, I think I had mentioned something in relation to as well, but I think that was before we started recording.
Yeah.
So for those of you, allow me to take over the podcast who are watching WoodsTalk, Woodsy was a stalwart in Centra McGovern's on the Malone Road for many years. He was the day shift maestro, and that is opposite the restaurant that I used to work at. I worked there for 6 or 7 years, called the Bark and Dog. He cured me many days. There was plenty of jambons and Lucasades bought when I'd be hungover because he used to be on the morning shift. And you primarily got your day shift so you can pursue your love of comedy.
Pretty much, yeah. That's exactly it.
And there was a manager who was there at the time in the Bark and Dog, who, to quote, he was from Swindon. I don't know if that brings this tone down anymore or what. But he used to say about you, I like the cut of his jib, which I think is like posh Southern English spook for He's Good Crack.
Yeah.
But Nick really liked the way you used to deal with customers. Like obviously, no one thinks that, like years later you're a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
So you definitely had like there's no like fucking stage fright talking to people. But Nick wanted to hire you to work at the Bark and Dog.
That's so good.
Now, I don't know if that would have benefited either party, but it certainly would have made for some interesting tales, because given the fucking way I dealt with customers and I haven't got a fucking funny bone in my body. Yeah. I mean, was I telling you about the ball order?
No, tell me.
It was a thing. For fuck's sake. Where you used to try and get your balls on the table when you were taking an order without anybody noticing. Obviously, that had to stay in your trousers. You could just fucking pull your cacks down.
You're no fun, Mick.
No, you sort of, because if you think about it, if people are sitting and then you're standing taking the order, your balls are about sort of here. And that's usually about the edge of the table. So you just sort of go, "Hi, can I take your order? Yes, please." And you wouldn't just walk on and just fucking sit. You sort of edge your way in.
Scotch eggs, no worries.
Slightly, just sort of,
Yeah.
like that. I feel sorry for anybody watching this who just got that as an image. But yeah, you sort of rest your balls, and that was the challenge. And it was actually Nick who set that challenge to the waiters to do.
Yeah.
So Nick wanted to hire you, steal you from Centra.
Yeah.
Like rescue you from your fucking torture chamber that he thought you were in, when in fact you were fucking loving life because you were working 5 till 4 or something every day.
5 to 2, actually.
5 to 2, mate. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Or maybe it was something to do with the size of my bag. Maybe he wanted to bring me in. They sort of
maybe that's what it was.
Just bringing a ringer to the.
But yeah, he wanted you to join the ranks of Bark and Dog, and that would have been. Yeah, that would have been something else, because like I've had some cracking comebacks with customers. I would love to have heard, because like I suppose when people are drunk, I mean in Centra, like if you had drunk customers to deal with, aside from the ones you used to tell you, because a lot of your material came from just working in the shop,
all of it.
But well, I was trying to be kind. While you're creative, but whenever like you, generally speaking, if you had drunk customers to deal with, it was usually a flash in the pan. They were in to get smokes or whatever, But if they're in the restaurant, they're sat there.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So watching you deal with them, I think, would have been a fucking joy to behold. Well, it made her run the business into the ground, like, but fucking here, it would have been hilarious.
Yeah. Well, it's like, because it got me thinking when you told me that, like, how would things have changed? Because at that time, if it had financially been viable, because even when I first started doing the day shifts, I wasn't doing comedy straight away, so there was maybe a period of time where I could have done it, even though it was never something I thought I was ever capable of doing. But as you say, as awkward as anybody has ever been in Centra, it was always a flash in the pan, bar maybe someone. There was a guy once who had a problem with a top up with O2 that I gave him, and I tried to explain to him that it was O2's issue, it wasn't ours. Which it wasn't, it legitimately wasn't. And he stayed in the shop just sort of staring at me until I got the manager. That was the longest. That was about 10 minutes. But as you say, in the restaurant, I wouldn't have had the patience. I mean, like, because I suppose rightfully so, people can be fucking awkward about food when they're sober, but when they've got a few in them, I mean, like, can you remember any really awkward things? Because you were even saying on the podcast about people, like, or was it you were saying about, like, people saying, oh, this is this is bloody. Why is this bloody? And you're like, well, it's a steak, and this is the way you asked for.
Well,
that sort of vibe.
There was a few instances, like I was talking about, like, all right, so like sometimes with chicken, if chicken's cooked on the bone,
that's it.
There's blood vessels that run like a fucking, like, if anybody knows anything about anatomy, there's blood vessels. And sometimes what can happen is the blood vessel can actually burst.
Yeah.
Because whenever the chickens are butchered, all the blood doesn't fucking drain out, maybe, and it'll sort of stain the chicken. Or like the shin burger that the Barking Dog does, like, world famous shin burger, phenomenal, world renowned, like everybody knows about it. Legit, I think Kit Harington talked about it on like Late Night with Stephen Colbert or something like that. But because there's ketchup in the mix, when they make the shin disc, and then when they put the mince around it, they put ketchup into the mix. Excuse me, and that sometimes can stain the mince. So that even though it's been well cooked, there's still like a red tinge to it, and people go, "Oh, bloody! It's not fucking bloody." Or you get people going, "Well, my food's really salty." I mean, I think I told you that one. People don't season at home, so they come out to a restaurant, they get served a dish, and then they go, "I got salt or pepper," and then they eat it. Before, what they should do is taste it first. So I was taught to watch my tables and catch those things. So then if they complain, like if someone complains there's a genuine problem, it's cold or it's whatever, very sorry about that. We'll go rectify that and get a fresh one done for you. Very, very sorry. Here's a free glass of champagne or something. You do something. But when people are just out to be a cunt, you have to catch them. And trip them up. And it would often be the seasoning thing. It's too salty. I was like, well, I just watched you put a fucking I just refilled those salt cellars at lunchtime, and they're empty now because you just put that in your fucking gnocchi, you stupid cunt.
And
that's what, there was things like that. There was one I got in trouble, I actually did get a disciplinary for. Well, there was two. There was one that I didn't get a disciplinary for, which was regarding the burger. A table of 8 ordered the burger, and then what happened was I was clearing, and 7 of them went, "That's the best thing I've ever eaten in my life." Oh my sweet God! And it is. You've had it, you know.
Yeah, it's unreal.
It's tremendous. But then there was one person who went, "No, I didn't like it," and I was like, "What do you mean you didn't like it?" "I didn't think it was very good." And I went, "Well, you're a liar." And then the manager had to drag me away from the table.
Yeah.
And I was like, but it wasn't like it was an isolated incident. 8 burgers all cooked at the same time.
Yeah.
By the same chef.
The same
all
spec.
To the same table.
Same
and
toppings,
one person was like, I like a Big Mac or something. I was like, well, you're a fucking scumbag. But anyway. But I didn't get disciplined for that one. I got told that you can't talk to people like that there. But you are right. Just, you can't do that to people.
Yeah.
But there was one where I suppose I was out of line. And it was regarding the fish pie. And there was a woman who was like, because on the menu it would say fish pie, please ask your server. Because there was that much in it, you couldn't just. The menu would become a phone book if you put every ingredient in.
Yeah.
So because it was shellfish and things like that, there you had to make people aware. So people say, "What's in the fish pie?" You say, "Well, it's smoked haddock, salmon, cod, prawns, mussels with a soft-boiled egg, with mirepoix veg, and it's finished with cheddar mash on top." It's like I still work there, but that was literally that's what you would have to say.
Yeah.
But every every ingredient I mentioned, she made that face, like that.
Yeah.
And for anybody who's on the audio, that was a face of disgust.
Yes.
For every ingredient.
She likes puddle of mud.
I got to about the fourth or fifth item.
Yeah.
In the fish pie, and I was like, "But you know what, madam? It's a fish pie, and if you've got a problem with fish, don't order it."
Yeah.
And then I got a disciplinary. I got a written warning for that one.
Really?
But definitely a verbal warning, like a proper like you cannot. But I think I was in a bad mood, and she just called. I was like, you are a witch.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah.
So, but it's you do get them. But on the whole, 99% of people are fucking lovely.
Yeah, all for sure.
But there are those ones that you remember, like the one I don't know if I told you it. Definitely told somebody it. Somebody asked for a Jack Daniels and Coke and a vodka and white lemonade, and I served the drinks, and he went, "Which one?" Because you have the gun. This is in England when I worked in England. You've got the guns. You have to splice in each one.
Yeah.
So JD and Coke and a vodka and lemonade, and I served it. And he went, "Which one's which?" So I threw him out.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, "Man, he's like, I'm not drunk." I says, "I didn't say you were drunk. You're a fucking retard." Like,
yeah.
Actually, that's offensive to. No, he was not retarded. He was stupid.
Yeah, he was dumb.
And the town that I was working in was a lot of inbred, so there you go. Yeah. But like that actually got a letter of complaint to my head office, and I told my area manager, "I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
How can you trust somebody who's that stupid to get drunk?"
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
If he can't tell it wasn't like he went, "Oh, sorry, mate."
Yeah.
He didn't like go, "Which one's which?" "Oh, fuck here, I'm being silly." He was like going, "But no, seriously, which one is which?"
Yeah.
And then someone asked me once for a Guinness top.
On what?
Like a Guinness with a splash of lemonade.
Oh yeah, no, you just can't do that out of principle. You know what I mean?
You're lucky you're not in Belfast. You get fucking kneecap.
Yeah, for sure.
That blasphemy.
Yeah, fucking. I remember there was this guy once, and he was like, he bought like a load of shopping, and like when it's sort of busy, you just kind of scan in the bag, get his money. There's some back, get the fuck sort of thing. But he came back and he was like, you served me about 10 minutes ago, and like he was memorable in that. You're so ugly that you're memorable. That sort of ugly. We were just like, oh, you could crash a train by looking at it. Fair play. So he came back and he was like, I'm not happy about this. And I was like, happy about what? And he's like, well, I bought all this from you, and there's clearly an issue. And I was like, what is it? And he's like, this cucumber has mold on it. And I was like, oh fuck, man, sorry, I can get it refunded or something like that. And he goes, no, you charged me full price for that. And I was like, yeah, but I can refund you. And he was like, well, surely you should just knock off a few p because it's molded. And I was like, so you just plan for me to knock 13p off it so you can take it back to the house and cut around it and make it, do you know what I mean? And shove it up your wife's hole regardless. Yeah, it was like, like the plastic had come loose around it, and it obviously was exposed. You don't see it. But I was just like, is this going up your wife's fucking anus at some point? Is that why you have to be so particular? Like, he was like, no, you should have knocked off a couple of pence because there's mold in that. And I'm like, right, do you know what I mean? Do you expect your wife to suck your dick when there's smeg on it as well? You know what I mean? Shut up. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? awkward contact. Do you know what I mean?
I can speak to the quality of a cucumber from Centra on Malone Road, because that's where we used to get our cucumbers from for our gin garnishes and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Never had an issue.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was an isolated incident.
Yeah. Before we...
Oh my God, fucking wab.
I know. Before we finish up, though, I need to get more clarification about this ball bag on the table game. Because surely, people, you would have an advantage if you were a certain height. I mean, for you, where do the tables naturally sit in terms of your plums?
It wasn't good for me. It wasn't good for me.
So you had the almost goblet squat with a daiquiri. Just rest the bag.
Going goblet squat with a gimlet. No. Well, yeah. I did struggle. Okay. So if that's the point of the table,
yeah.
These are your legs. It was literally. You would start here and go.
Yeah.
This is the weirdest. I can't wait.
I've got the thumbnail for this video already.
So if. So you would stand here. So this is the point of the table. Hi guys, can I take your order? Say yes, no problem. Soup of the day, followed by a hamburger. Yes, no problem. And then you just sort of start to move closer.
Yeah.
And then you just and then it would be the person on this end of the table, and you'd have to sort of lean your ear in. Sorry, what was that you said? And you just that was the ninja way of doing it.
Right.
And so you would be sat with your butt, and it would. But we would know that we would know that everybody was doing it.
Yeah.
And you'd be marking each other. Because you would get bonus points if somebody so if you imagine you're sitting, that's the corner of the table there, and I have my balls resting.
Yeah.
You're sitting here. If you were seen by another member of staff going, taking a triple take, going, are his balls actually, know?
Yeah.
It also depends on the weather, because yourself. There's a different kind of subtlety to your sack on like a hot day compared to a cold day. So there was a load of variables. Like
It really
there's
is
a proper fucking Olympic sport, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what I want to see at the Olympics now, is just bag resting on without people's. Doesn't have to be restaurants. It just could be anything. It could be wakes and funerals. That's the next step up. If you're going to really test the water, you just need to rest it on the coffin.
See if you can get your balls inside a coffin. Oh no, I'm going to hell. We're both Fenians. We're definitely going to burn in hell.
Yeah.
I'm turning the lights off for when I'm wagging tonight, so nobody can see me.
What a way to end it, man. Here, thanks very much for coming on. It's been lovely to speak to you as always.
And I'll admit the lengths we have to go to. Here, I'm thinking, am I your last planned guest? Because this might be the death of Zoom podcasts.
There's a few more in the pipeline. I think I'll still use Zoom maybe to capture audio. It's handy in that respect. But from a video perspective, I don't think it's not really fair to ask people to watch it, because when you look at various other video podcasts and studios, like, why would you want to watch this? You know what I mean? Which is fair enough. You know what I mean? I understand. It was handy during lockdown, but I think Zoom has kind of exhausted itself as a video format for sure. Like, but yeah, where can people find the String Ninjas? Because I know there will be some
the
things.
Strange Ninjas.
Yeah,
as we're also known. That's our grinder name. Patreon.com/String Ninjas for our podcast. We just dropped 10 episodes there on Monday. 10 videos, 10 audios. It goes out in general release in a few weeks. So fire is the price of a pre-marked price dildo, and you will get all of them at once. And just String Ninjas everywhere. We are legit on Grindr.
Are you right now?
Yeah, I set up a Grindr because we thought, what would be a really nice marketing tool? If we went on Tinder and just matched with a load of people and was like, here, come to a gig, but then two guys on Tinder, it's a bit creepy. So we were like, right, if we do Grindr, gay people have more sense of humor than straight white bitches. That's so we did Grindr, and I deleted the app after 5 minutes because my fucking phone exploded with DMs and lots of pictures being sent, and I was like, I can't look at any of those. Yeah, you're getting a very different type of a photo with balls resting on the table. I put a photo of us as our profile picture that was quite bearish. Yeah. Nice lighting with the beards, over the shoulder. Yeah. instruments. And those guys lapped it, and I didn't even like say on your profile you can say you're looking for a ride or a relationship or whatever.
Yeah.
I picked networking. I thought, well, let's keep it professional.
Yeah.
Nah, man, all the boys came out with their fucking truncheons in my DMs, so I had to delete it. But we are on there, so if you want to find us on Grindr,
yeah. And you're on Insta and all the people just search for String Ninjas and
YouTube. Get us on YouTube because we're trying to get it monetized.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, the Eagles keep taking down our videos of their songs because I think we play Hotel California better than they do.
Yeah. And
but we'd like to get that monetized because then we can do like live streams because live music's not coming back for at least another 4 or 5 years. So
yeah, I know, man. Yeah, you're gonna have to think of other things now.
I gotta go into politics because apparently corruption pays.
Yeah. You need to do a live stream with Daniel Johnson and just do a couple of duets and do If Tomorrow Never Comes.
Stop it!
Yeah,
stop it!
Yeah,
that'll be the theme tune for Big Trouble in Little China. That's remade. String Ninjas featuring Daniel Johnson. I do actually. There is a Big Trouble in Little China story I have for you, but I'll tell you. I'll tell you now.
Go for that. Yeah.
When you came to record our podcast with us, I was obviously the one thing I want to talk to you about because it's in my top 5 films of all time. I think it's in yours too.
Yeah.
But I was like walking to the Sunflower. Usually I was driving Gavin and bringing us there, but I was like, I'm gonna have a pint tonight because we were recording with Darren that night as well.
Yeah.
I'm having pints.
Yeah.
I've worked hard. And so on the way to the Sunflower, I had the soundtrack for Big Trouble in Little China playing in my ears.
Yeah.
And I come to the bottom of Clifton Street and I'm just turning right onto where Carrickhill is to go down that wee entry to the Sunflower. And do you know the scene when the 3 storms appear at the fucking the brothel?
Yeah.
Yeah. That track's playing in my ears at the same time. There's a church, or there's a mass starting at St. Pat's Church, so the fucking dawn's going.
Yeah.
And then on my right hand side, a junkie falls off his bike. All while that's playing, and I was like, this kid has to be a fucking bad omen. And I was like, I must say to Woodsy when I see him.
Yeah.
But you obviously were fucking half an hour late that day because you got your fucking times wrong.
I did indeed. I'm not.
So I forgot that story. Now I've told that story.
Yeah. Now we're even.
My conscience is clear.
Yeah. Well,
namaste.
Namaste, man. Thanks again for coming on. That is us. Thanks a million. Hey.
Yep.
Just take it easy. Stay safe, mate.